This is my second video on basic string methods. I'll talk about substrings and how to find just pieces of strings and set words or set parts of strings. So I've created a string methods 2 class, and I've set my string variable a to just this sentence, find my substring, exclamation point. Now it's important to know that these strings, every character inside these strings has an index number assigned to it. And so in here I've commented out and just kind of showed you that index 0, it's very important to know, and this is why some people get very confused by this, is that the first character of the string is index 0. Okay, the I is index 1, the N is index 2, and so on. And it's very important to remember that D is 3 and that the space, I've shown it here, the space is index 4. So even the spaces are characters and they matter. So next I want to look at this substring method. So let's just say I want to pull out part of this string. And so I'm going to output part of the string. So I'm going to grab the string, which is A, dot, and then I want to do the substring, which is just a piece of the string. And to do substring, the computer needs to know what part of it that you want, and there needs to be a number here, and that's just, I'm going to use an index number, and I'll use the index 3. So remember now that this means that it is going to start at index 3, which is the D, and it's going to print the rest of this. That's the piece of the string that it is going to print. So when I run this, it starts at index 3, which is the letter D, and prints the rest of the string. So that's exactly what substring, if you put one number in here past this one integer value, it's going to start. So if I go substring 8, then I would have to look at my index numbers and go to index 8, which is the S. And so this is just going to print the word substring. And there it is, substring, and the exclamation point at the end. So that's one type of substring. But another type is you can tell it two integers, so you could go 3 and let's go to 11. Now, this one is the tricky one. This is the one that a lot of people mess up when they're just calculating problems on a quiz or calculating some program output. And so it will start at 3, index 3, which is the D, and it says go to index 11. Go to index 11. Now, when I run that, running also always kind of tells you the main idea and gives you a good answer as to what happens. It's very important that you realize the second number, the index 11, does not get printed. So this S does not get printed here. So remember, the first number we start with, the first is a yes. The second number we end, but we don't print it. Very, very important. Okay. So if I just wanted to get the word my to show up, just the word my and not the two spaces there, I would have to start at index 5 and I would have to end at index 7. So maybe the easiest way to look at this would be for you to look at the numbers that are sitting here. 7 minus 5 is 2. So it says print me two things starting at the 5. That might be another way to look at this. And so when I run this, it will basically just print the word my with no spaces. I know it's really hard to tell if there is a space after the letter Y, but there is not. And so that's the second part of the substring method, is for you to put two numbers. So maybe I'll do one more output statement, and I'll go a.substring, and I'll start with index. I'll use a number I haven't used yet. I'll start with index 6, and we'll go to 15. So the question is, do you know what that output's going to be before I run it, 6 to 15? You can pause the video and think about it if you need to, but remember, it's going to start with 6, so it's going to start with the letter Y. And now there's a couple ways to think about it. If you understand what is going on here, we're going to go out to index 15, but we're not going to print it. So it's going to print the I here as the last thing. The other way to look at it, if you like to, although counting sometimes takes a long time, it'll start at index 6, which is the Y. 15 minus 6 is 9, so it's going to print 9 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The I, again, is the end. So when I run this just to verify it, you should see and understand why it prints Y space substring. There's your substring string method and how it works with one integer entered or with a range of integers entered, which are really index numbers. And index numbers are keeping track of where you are in the string, making sure that you remember that it always starts with index 0.